on our way back to Santa Barbara now. I didn't really want to go back, but the Father asked me to. True story. I did not want to go back, and I even argued with him, as I often do. I often argue with the Father, but he said, no, I want you to go back home. So we're on our way today. Oh, thank you. And I don't know. Stay in your lane, please. I really don't. I mean, I do know why he wants me to go back, but like, anyway. But I just wanted to, well, not just me, but my Father wanted me to talk about, like, let's see, this was like 4 years ago now. I had started listening to tarot readings. Like, don't ask. It was weird. I've never been a tarot person, so it was weird that I was even listening to it. Is that better? Is that cooler for you? I love you so much. I had never really listened to tarot and all that kind of stuff, but the tarot led me to, the tarot readings led me to listening to a lot of sermons and things like that, because I've always loved God, like, I always have. So I quickly got out of the tarot, and the Father delivered me from it, is what happened. Thank God. Literally, thank God. And I found myself listening to even more sermons, because when I wasn't listening to tarot, I had a lot of time to listen to all kinds of stuff that was about the Lord. And I really just let the algorithm, well, I thought it was the algorithm for a while. I thought it was just, the YouTube algorithm leading me to, the next thing. But after a while, it became obvious that God was also in control of my YouTube and my YouTube algorithm and all kinds of other stuff. And I mean, it was shocking at first, because I thought, why? But no, it's been proven to me many times. I couldn't prove it to you, but I know what it is. I know what it is. And I've tested it. It's been proven to me many times over the last 4 years or so. But I remember hearing, I don't think I ever really understood the promises of God. I didn't really know the promises of God very well. I didn't know God's word very well. There were a lot of things I didn't know. And so I made it a point to pray every morning, to pray 2-3 times in the middle of the day, and then also to pray at night. And then if I woke up in the middle of the night, to pray. And it was the promises of God. I kept listening to them. Like, I would literally type in on YouTube the promises of God. We're driving through LA, so I can't really look at the camera right now. I'm driving. And I would listen to them, and they enriched my spirit. They enriched my life. They enriched, they filled up my heart and gave me hope and peace when I had nothing. I didn't have any money. I had some, barely enough to survive. Literally barely enough. I had a car. I had my dog, and I had to care for her and, take good care of us and keep us healthy. And of course, the Father does that for me, but He also tells me how. And sometimes I've needed money in order to do that, to keep us healthy, to feed us, and, have decent drinking water and stuff like that. But I remember listening to the promises of God and just thinking to myself, this is it for me. This is it. This is what I want. I want God's promises. I want that. I want to be the lender and not the borrower. I want to be at the head and not the foot. I want to be above and not beneath. I want to have dominion, to trample on all serpents and scorpions. I want all of that. I want all of that. I want nothing to be able to separate me from the love of God. I want all of these things. I want to be more than a conqueror through Christ Jesus. And I just remember, giving everything I had. Everything. All my time. I just started dedicating all my time to the Father. I didn't look back. I didn't leave anything for tomorrow. I didn't think about, well, what about next week? None of it. I just gave everything to him. My time, my car, my dog, my joy, my peace, my everything. I gave him everything, and I didn't look back. Like, I didn't not just look back, but I didn't leave anything left over. You know, like, you'd think, like, I think it's monkey. You'd think, like, well, why didn't you save money, or why didn't you do this? The Father didn't ask me to, is the truth. He didn't ask me to. He didn't tell me to save anything. He said, give me all you've got, and I'll take care of you. That's what he said. He said, do not be anxious for everything, but in everything, and with prayer and supplication and with thanksgiving, make your desires known to me. I'm like, all right, I will. And I did. But, like, even just recently on the trip, well, like, on the trip to across the country, when we ended up in Pensacola, North Carolina, but I gave it everything I had. I didn't think about tomorrow. I didn't think about what if. I cast all my cares, all my concerns, all my anxieties, all of it, at the foot of the throne of my Father. And I did that regularly. I did that every day. I did that every time I felt scared about, well, what, I have a bill to pay next week, Father. You know, I mean, I usually had money to cover my bills. But, like, if something happened, you know, if it was like something came up and I didn't foresee it, I didn't, you know, yell at the Father and say, well, Father, well, if you hadn't had me on this mission to, you know, North Carolina, then I would have had the money to do that. You know, like, I didn't do that. I simply kept my eyes on the road, and I stayed with him. I didn't leave anything for tomorrow. I charged it, in other words. Like, I just went for it. I didn't stop and think, well, what if this is not the way? Because I believed the Lord, like, wholeheartedly. I believed him. I believed everything he told me. And I knew that after a while it became clear that, you know, things wouldn't be coming in my timing. It would be coming in God's time, not mine. And I knew that while I was waiting, while I was, I don't know, waiting for what, but, like, while I was on these crazy, you know, totally crazy missions for him, that he was preparing me, and all these things were preparing me to be in his service, to be of use to him. Because even though I loved him and spent all my time with him and everything else, I knew that the Father was refining me. I knew that nobody else could do it either. I couldn't do it. I remember, like, checking out all the manifestation stuff, as I think a lot of people do, especially when they're, you know, dealing with poverty and they've been usually when they've been poor their entire life. You know, I started checking, and I thought, I could never figure this out. Like, it sounds like witchcraft to me, first of all, because it is. And it's like trying to bend the will of the universe, bend the will of God, basically, which, you know, is pointless. But I quickly realized that, like, the people that I was listening to, you know, this was like while I was listening to tarot, the people I was listening to, they didn't have the life that I wanted, or even the life that they wanted. So I thought, well, that's bullshit. That doesn't work, you know, that something's not working. And so I, you know, once the Father delivered me from tarot and all that stuff, like I said, I just kept my eyes on him. I kept my eyes on him. I've talked about this dream that I had before on this channel. But it was a dream about being, like, totally naked and up on this really high ridge. I mean, it was like Mount Everest high. Like, I couldn't see the bottom. Even though it was totally clear, like, I couldn't see the bottom. I was so high up. And totally naked, this huge storm all around me, and people on the ridges, you know, below me. And I had this, like, it would look like a cherubim. It looked like a wheel, you know, the wheel within wheels type thing. But it was also like a gigantic storm, snow flying around and all this kind of thing. And as long as I kept there was only enough room on the ridge to put one foot in front of the other. I couldn't stand like, with my feet side by side at all. There was only enough room. One foot in front of the other, that's it. And as long as I kept my eyes on the Father, I was good. And so when things have gotten really hard, and they've gotten really hard, like, I don't always post all the things or like do videos about all the things that are really difficult. Ooh, I would love to see that, Papa. We're passing by a Dead Sea Scrolls like exhibit thing. I don't know where that is, but there's Reagan Library. Wow. Oh, I would love to see that, Papa. The final weeks at the Reagan Library, the Dead Sea Scrolls. But I would keep that, like, that dream would pop into my head, and I would remember to keep my eyes on the Father, like, to the exclusion of all else. Like, just recently I was driving 20 hours. I drove over 20 hours through Mexico, and there were parts of the highway that were so dark, and there was no, like, hardly any lines on either side of the road, so I could barely see the road without my brights on, and cars would be coming at me. And that dream, like, once again would pop into my head, and I would think, all right, Father, just, because it would make me nervous, because there's only like 2 lanes, right? And so it's oncoming traffic, and you'd have like a big ass truck coming your way. And I'm like, Father, just help me relax and keep my eyes on you. I know, like, I obviously literally keep my eyes on the road, but like my calm, my peace, my knowing, keep my focus on you. And he did. And I mean, I drove for over 20 hours that day, until, I think I was driving until about 4 in the morning. It was a long drive, no doubt. But I just really wanted to get out of Mexico, like, really badly, excuse me. And so I kept going. And it's times like that when it's like when it's scary, and like, there are legitimately things that could have gone very wrong, but they didn't. It didn't even come close to that ever. There were times when, I was across the country before I got to North Carolina, where we barely had enough food, and I was having to piece together like these really fucked up meals of like canned food and like, yeah, confirmation. This like mishmash of food, and I was trying to eat more healthy, and it was really hard. And I would just sit there and look at what food I had to eat for that day and be like, Father, I don't know how to do this. Like, I genuinely don't know how to eat better when I don't have access to like better food. And 1, 3, 2, 1 on the timer. And I would get frustrated, and I would curse God. Don't think that I didn't. I was angry at times. I was very angry with him, and I would take his name in vain. And I wasn't so much taking his name in vain, but like talking mad shit to the Father, like big time, talking mad shit. But I never sought to leave him. I would say things like, Father, I'm just done. I'm just so fucking done. I'm just done. This is all so hard. Complaining, a lot of complaining. When I would get really angry and frustrated with my situation, my circumstances. And even just recently, somebody said to me, somebody who was a pretty close friend of mine, said to me, look at your circumstances. Like, I was telling him, that I had lost my purse and everything, and I had no money, and blah, 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 in Mexico. But I was also telling him that, like, the Father led me there. He wouldn't lead me somewhere to cause me harm. He wouldn't lead me into something and then abandon me. He just wouldn't fucking do that. I just know him. I don't know him super well, but I know him. I definitely know that the Father doesn't do shit like that. And this person said to me, well, look at your circumstances, like, what are you talking about? And I had to step back from that friendship and say, to myself, you know what, Rebecca, like, I mean, I love that person. I care about them. I always will. And at the same time, I'm not going to listen to your, I get it. Like, I get it. I look at my circumstances all the time, but that's not what faith does. Faith doesn't look at circumstances. Faith and love doesn't look at circumstances. Love doesn't look at somebody's outward appearance and be like, oh, you know, you have a sit on your chin today. I can't be with you. You know, kind of thing. Love and faith go through all of those things, and they don't, you know, love and faith don't go, you know what, you're just too much today, or, you know, your circumstances are too fucked up, you know, I just can't hang with you today. And that's very much what was going on in that friendship. And I had to step back from that and just, you know, give it a lot of love and a lot of faith and just leave it alone. And I know how hard it is to lose people and to walk away from people, or let them walk away from you. It's really what happened to me just recently. But like, also I know that that's what love does. Love walks away sometimes. It does. It doesn't walk away angry. It doesn't walk away like holding grudges. And it doesn't walk away like woulda, shoulda, coulda. It just walks away and it's just like, I'm just going to love you from over here. You know, not in some condescending, like, egotistical way, just like, I'm just gonna love you, but I just am not gonna listen to you right now, because I hear your fear, I hear your lack of faith, and I'm just not on board with that, period. Because I know I had to do that with myself, because over the last couple years I've had to walk away from my own bullshit many times and be like, you know what, Rebecca, I love you, I see what you see. It's not like I'm blind. I see what you see, but at the same time, I see past that. I had to do it for myself, and so we have to be willing to, you know, take the hand of the Father and just walk through fire. You won't be burned. You won't be singed. You might be scared. Yeah, all of those things, but the Father doesn't lead you into anything that He won't get you out of. Now, I know that sounds kind of crazy, because some people are in really fucked up situations, and I get that. Like, I'm not stupid. I'm not blind. I get it. And at the same time, I've been in really, really dire situations. Really dire. Where I didn't know how I was going to eat the next day. I didn't know how I was going to feed Bella. I didn't know a lot of things. And it looked bad. It looked bad. There are, like, if you read my, like, GoFundMe page, all my updates, you'll see, like, I've been in some really dire circumstances, and that's not even counting all the decades of dire circumstances that came before that GoFundMe page ever even came up. Because I post updates to my GoFundMe page often, like maybe, you know, once every month or 2 months, sometimes some more often. And so, you know, I get it. Like, I get it that, but we have to walk by faith, not by sight. Period. And I know that it can be so hard. I know that you just want to, like, scream and yell and stomp your feet and tell God right where to go. And that's okay. He can take it. He can take your anger. He can take your frustration. He can handle it. But, like, if you're really gonna give your life to the Lord, like, it requires an all or nothing attitude. Like, you do all of it or you do none of it, kind of thing. My mother used to always accuse me of being a black or white person, like an all or nothing person. And so, you know, from my perspective, I always thought that, you know, being that way was like a bad thing, you know, because she never meant it in a positive way. So I lived most of my life thinking that being black or white, being, you know, all or nothing was like a bad thing. And it wasn't.
Oh.
Excuse me.
Oh.
Confirmation 3 times.
Oh.
4 times.
Oh.
5 times. Did you know that when we fast, our bodies eat up all of our bad cells producing hydrogen, and because we breathe oxygen, like, it makes water. Our bodies produce their own water when we're fasting. I wondered about that because I fasted for like 60 days and I thought, I'm not really losing weight. I don't really feel weak and sick and tired like I thought I would. And like also I'm peeing like crazy. Like I'm not drinking water, but I'm peeing. Yeah, our bodies produce their own water incredibly. God's design is perfect. It's perfect. You can doubt it or not, it doesn't really matter to me. But like if you want to hear somebody say it, like God's design of us is perfect. His design for our lives is perfect. When we don't get on board with him, it's so much harder. It's so much harder. It takes longer. It's more depressing. It's more, you have anxiety on. But like, because I genuinely feel like it's very difficult to live a life without any anxiety, without any depression, without any struggle. That seems impossible to me. But when you live your life laid down to the Father, I'm living proof that you can stay joyful. Like I've been joyful. I've had my down moments, but like they never last. My bad times are now better than my good times ever used to be. Like the bad times in my life now are still better. Even with all the bad stuff going on, or what might be considered bad stuff, my bad times are better than my good times ever used to be. Ever. Like the best times of my life are still not even as close to as good or as joyful or hopeful or peaceful as my good times used to be. Like my bad times now are they're still amazing. And when you have that peace, it's unshakable. Like it's unshakable. I used to listen to this it was like a talk by Bruce Lee, and at the end of it he says, water can crash or it can flow. Be like water, my friends. And I took that seriously. I was like, all right, Father, teach me to be water. I always had a hard time going with the flow in my life, and so it was something I wanted to learn how to do. And the Father showed me. We have been all zigzag up and down this country, back and forth, everywhere. We haven't been everywhere, but we've been a lot of places. I think I've been to like 28 states in this car, plus Mexico. And then like just all over the place. We've been all over the place, and still like the Father was with us the entire time. I'm not saying it was easy. I'm not saying that I didn't get frustrated at times, but like I would say 95% of it, if not more of it, was full of joy, hope, peace. Like the joy is amazing. It's soul-saving joy. The joy that God offers is amazing. And it's just incredible. There's nothing else that offers that. Nothing. Not your kids, not your family, not friends, money, possessions, status, success. None of that gives you the kind of joy that the Father gives you. Nothing does. Nothing. You have new eyes. You see beauty where you would have seen nothing before, and you notice it. Like you genuinely notice it. You're like, well, I never thought that was beautiful before, but you genuinely see it as beautiful. You see the good in people even when they're acting like total assholes, and you're able to love them despite them totally not deserving it, because you start to realize after a while that you don't deserve God's love either. So like if you only ever got what you deserved, where would you be? Yeah, the Father doesn't give us what we deserve necessarily, especially when we don't deserve it. When we don't deserve love, that's when he loves us more. When we don't deserve his patience, that's when he's more patient with us. That's how we have to treat others. Just like Christ said, I only do what I see the Father doing. And I found oodles and kazoodles of tons of love in me that I never thought I had, especially for other people. Where I would, like look down on them in some way, and I'm smarter than them, or like more kind than them, whatever. And, like that video I did about spiritual snobbery. That shit has got to go, because it's a stumbling block between us and God. That spiritual snobbery, that superiority shit. And like, I've been accused of it, but like genuinely the person that accused me most of it projects or used to project onto me a lot, more than they ever cared to admit, more than they want to know, and that's the truth. So it's really, really, really worth it to get on board the God train, the Jesus train, and just go. I mean, what do you have to lose anyway? Some demons, some shitty attitude, some lack of love for yourself and for others. I mean, the things that the Father has worked on with me, and like diligently and dedicated work, making me better physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, better in every way. And not better than anyone, but better than I was 10 years ago, better than I was 5 years ago, better than I was yesterday. Because the only competition I have is me anyway. There's no one to be better than. Now, when I meet people that are not as smart as me, I genuinely want to educate them. When they're not as patient as me, I show them how to be patient. And it's a kindness, it's a gentleness of the soul. You know, it's the way I want to be. I want those fruits of the Spirit. I want to be kind and gentle with people. I don't want to rule over them with my, my intellect or my perceived intellect. And it's like, what good is intellect if your emotional intelligence is in the crapper? That was always my issue, was like my emotional intelligence was in the crapper. I was a very intellectually intelligent person, but my heart was a disaster. Broken, wrung out, dried up mess. And I knew it. And so I covered up a lot of my diminished emotions with my intellect. And the fact of the matter is, it only ever made me like a stuck-up, pompous asshole. Like it does to everybody else. It's the same for everybody. Nobody gets out of that trap without humility to the Father. Period. End of story. That's just the way it works. End of story. So I gave it all I got, and I don't know exactly what the Father has in store for me, but I know that it's good. I know that He doesn't have plans for harm. I know that. How do I know that? Because that's what His Word tells me. He has no plans for harm, only plans for hope and a future full of prosperity. And I believe Him. So, if you find yourself in a situation where you're just like, you know what, I'm just so fucking done with life. Nothing has ever treated me well. I haven't treated me well. I'm still not treating me well. Other people don't treat me well. Go with the Father. He won't let you down. His promises are good, and He's just as much alive today, the one true living God today, as He always has been. He's not dualistic. I think I ran into that issue with the demarriage and all that stuff for a while. But the truth is, the Father showed me. He showed me it's not me that changes, it's you guys. It's the humans. You change, not me. I don't change. And through more study of His Word and studying the Torah and Tanakh, He's shown me so many things. He's a beautiful Father, the best Father anybody could ever have. And I highly encourage and highly strongly suggest that, when you don't have anything else going for you, the Father will be there for you. He always is. And if you've got struggles right now that you just can't handle, He'll help you handle them. He'll help you and He'll carry you through. I know He will. I can guarantee it. It may not work out the way you thought. It may not work out the way you planned. It may not work out at all, even close to the way you envisioned it. God, that sucks. Blood of the Lamb on that situation. Somebody's car just burnt up on the side of the freeway. That sucks. I've seen car fires before. It's awful. They're awful things. Your car goes up in flames faster than you think. Anyway. But it will work. It will turn out for your greatest good. Of that I have no doubt. And you will not be put to shame. And He will not shame you. He will not waste your heart. He will not, He won't shame you. So keep fighting. Even if you're struggling right now, struggle is progress. But do something to further that progress every day. Read another page of your Bible. Pray 3 times instead of 2. Fast for 3 days instead of 2 or 1. You know what I mean? Like, push yourself. Push it. Push that progress. And that struggle will become more progress. And you'll be able to look back, 6 months from now and be like, wow, I did that. I did that with the Father. The Father did that in me. And it's an incredible feeling, and it gives you a sense of self-worth that nothing and no one else could ever give you. So, I hope this video finds you blessed. Love, blessings, and compassion to everyone. Please take care of yourselves. Take care of one another. Peace be with you.